Today I'd like to introduce you to Goalscape, which is a great goal setting software. Now, as you might know, I'm a big proponent of mind mapping, but when it comes to setting goals, mind maps are not ideal. And within the article that's attached to this actual video, I make that very clear. What I like about Goalscape is that it does three fundamental things that allow me to set very effective goals and be able to manage them from start to finish. I'm going to go through the features of Goalscape step by step for you just very quickly, and then what I'll do is I'll give you an example which outlines three specific ways you can use Goalscape to set goals. To begin with, let's just go through all the main features of Goalscape. When you open up Goalscape to begin with, you see this screen. You got a new goal, which is your main goal, which is the parent top goal. Then you got three sub goals. Now, to add another sub goal, you can click on one of the original sub goals and right click your mouse and go add neighbor. And that automatically adds a new goal. To add a sub goal to this goal, you just go right click and add sub goal. Then we can add another neighbor and another neighbor. So you see how easy it is to add all these goals to Goalscape. Now, if for instance I added this goal to this parent goal, and I thought, okay, well maybe this actually fits over here. So what I can do is I can just drag this, pop it there. Or maybe, how about popping it here? Or maybe I just want it back there. So as you see, it's very flexible in terms of how you can manipulate and use things and focus the goals on different areas. Let's now take a look at the sidebar. Sidebar here focuses on notes, where you can just write anything you want about that goal, additional notes, everything else. You can also add extra little tabs for additional notes about different things, different items to do with this goal. There's a lot of things you can do here. And then you can also attach files. So for instance, I can attach files and folders in a lot of different ways. We have Goalscape and Plan of Action mind map that I previously created. So you can show that, and it's great for presentations. You can just stick different little pictures and other examples that reflect your goals to keep you inspired or to focus you on different areas. Now, as we move up here, let's go back to the top. Every goal has an importance. So as you can see here, as I move from one goal to the other, this one is 100% important because it's a top goal. Now this one has 25% importance. Say for example, this will take me 5 hours to complete, and all the other goals will also take me 5 hours to complete altogether. Therefore, I would imagine that this goal would be of higher priority for me. So therefore, in order for it to be and to seem of higher priority on this Goalscape, what I would do is I would stretch out the priority, and as you see on the side menu, it stretches it out to 50%. And that tells me that if I complete any of these goals here, which is the next step here, the progress, check that mark off and complete it. It shows me that this has been completed 17%, this goal has been completed 33%. For instance, I could even start to accomplish this goal, but maybe only get about, say, 50% through. As you can see, this goal, this parent goal to this sub goal keeps growing, and now is 50% complete because I've completed one goal and a half. Next, you can also set a start date and an end date for each of your goals. And I'll show you how that works a little bit later when I give you the practical example. You can also assign responsibilities. So you can assign specific people who will be responsible for a particular goal. And you can also tag certain and specific goals. So for instance, say I was to select this goal here, and I was to tag it as a new goal. So it's now tagged as a new goal. A tag is great because it helps you to outline or highlight specific thing about a goal that you would like to find easily at a future time. So for instance, if this was quite expanded, it would be very difficult to find exactly what I'm looking for. But if I go into the tags menu feature here, see I've got new goal here. If I highlight that, Look at that. It just highlights that particular goal so I can see, oh, right, okay, that's what I need to do. That's what I need to focus on. As you see here in the side menu again, if I remove that tag, you do have specific dates. So you can actually filter different goals in terms of the dates that you've assigned to them. But won't get into detail with that right now. Another great thing you can do with goals is you can color them a certain color. If I select this one as blue and I want to select all the sub goals as well as blue, so that makes certain goals stand out for you, and maybe it's easier to focus in on specific areas. Another wonderful part of Goalscape that's quite exceptional in my mind, because mind mapping doesn't do this very well, is when I double click on an actual sub goal, it automatically just focuses in on that sub goal, and all the other goals you see on the side here are not in focus anymore. So I can now focus and concentrate on this one, and then I can keep adding additional neighbor goals, sub goals to this area here. If I want to go back out, I can just double click this area and I see everything in perspective once again. Now, having seen all this, I would like to give you a practical example that I created for the purpose of this video demonstration. Now, our goal is to create a thriving online business. In Goalscape, I created 3 specific types of goals that I could measure here. And these are 3 specific types of goals that you could actually create for your own Goalscapes, for your own goals. 1 is task-oriented goals. 2 is skills that you can master, and 3 is specific metrics that you can actually measure. Let's look at first the task-oriented goals. So to create a thriving business, if I click here and look at the strategy that I would like to implement. Now, another thing before moving on is you can actually click on the little arrows here and they'll expand and collapse your goals. Just makes things easy to focus on and gets things into perspective. Now, moving back onto this, say I've got a strategy to implement to achieve my online objectives. In terms of blog, I look at the content area and I want to write 5 pillar posts. As you can see, I've already completed 3 pillar posts. So my goal for the 5 pillar posts is 60% complete. If I want to complete this one as well, if I have completed this one, then I just tick that there. And if I complete that one, the 5th one, I just tick it there. And as you can see, as these smaller goals, these sub goals are ticked off, the parent goals of each of these also gets accomplished to a further degree. Now, this content goal, creating all this content area, the articles, the podcasts and videos, is now 33% complete. So obviously I've got a little bit more work there, but you see how it's progressing. Let's now back out a little bit more and look at the skills that I need to master in order to have a thriving online business. Now, measuring skills is a little bit more different than tasks, because you have to literally assign your own comfort level of how you feel about that skill, how you're progressing. So for instance, here I've indicated that I feel 50% confident that I've mastered the process of writing great blog content. So I've got obviously a lot of work to do, and I can adjust that based on my feelings, based on things that I'm doing. You might want to even assign different courses that you do, and once you check off those courses, then your skill level just grows and increases over time. So that's another way you can actually track your goals, by actually applying them to your skill levels. Let's back out again and let's jump into the 3rd way you can actually assign and track your goals. It's by using metrics. So metrics here, if you see here, I've got a goal of $25,000 to achieve $25,000 of income online, have 150,000 visitors come to the website, and 5,000 email subscribers. When it comes to achieving the $25,000, I've separated into even smaller parts. So we have $5,000 I would like to achieve from affiliate marketing, another $5,000 from advertising sales, $10,000 from membership site, and $5,000 from product sales. In order to track your metrics, you can do one of 2 things. You can mark them off as on a per sale basis, and that will lead to your $5,000 sales if you've got specific specific products that sell for a certain price, or you can go by the amount of money that you actually earn or make. So here I've got for video courses how much money was earned, and that just keeps on adding. So if I've made $200, then I check it off. If I made $300 or maybe close to $300, I might say 80% complete or 79% complete, and that just keeps adding onto here. So the $25,000 keeps growing and getting closer. If I pick up another advertising partner and I make an additional $4,000 or get up to $4,000 now, then I might check that off, and as you see, the $25,000 increases. One thing I would like to point out here is, for instance, say my goal is to achieve 5,000 email subscribers. I achieved the first one successfully, 1,000, but on the second one I've got 2,000, but I've got a little red clock. It's like a red flag. Red flag telling me, oops, I haven't achieved this one on time. As you can see here, it's the 1st of August that this goal was supposed to be achieved, but I haven't achieved that. So what would I do? I would essentially look at these red flags because I've marked dates for them and they pop up all the time. So I would look in my Goalscape and see, oh, I'm behind there, I'm behind there. Okay, what must I do now to increase these areas, to increase email subscribers and maybe increase visitors to my website to make sure I get up to this goal and reach the next target as well. So I'll go out and I'll look at my strategy, obviously, implementing a better strategy. So I might look at traffic generation. Okay, I've done 2 guest posts and that got me quite a bit of traffic. I might make a few notes there. This guest post may be some traffic, so I'll make a few notes here. But then I might look at another blog. Okay, let's write up another guest post for a big blog in my industry and see if I can generate some more traffic. So once I check that off, obviously that's going to help me with my guest posts. I can obviously add another guest post to here and be very flexible with everything. But once I add that, once I generate that extra traffic, or I could even go to article marketing or even run a forum strategy, everything here increases. The bigger goal increases, the strategy implementation process accelerates and moves forward, and the thriving online business moves forward. But here, this is where these metrics start to come into play when you implement the strategy. So as you can see, it's all about being able to navigate through Goalscape effectively, seeing the bigger picture, being able to move from here to there, to really encapsulate what you're trying to achieve, while at the same time take into consideration everything that pertains to your goals. So I hope this process, the example I provided you here and the practical example I showed you within this Goalscape, has given you a good idea of what Goalscape can do. The great thing about Goalscape right now is you can actually get Goalscape for a free trial, absolutely nothing, it doesn't cost you anything at all. Just follow the link below this video. Go to the Goalscape site, download it as a free trial, test it out for yourself, see what you can do, because you can create any type of goals with Goalscape, and it's so easy to manage, organize, and just write your goals. You will love this process. You'll absolutely love it, and I'll love to hear your comments about it. So please give me your comments, give me your feedback. Tell me, is it better than my mind mapping for goal setting, or is it not? Maybe for you, mind mapping is better. For me, I found this to be the ideal tool for setting goals. So go over there right now and download Goalscape and start setting your goals.